actually have the option to do it since my scholarship was not approving astrophysics nor aerospace engineering. But what happened is I went to the physics department first day at my freshman year. I was like, hi, can I look at your astrophysics plan? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I looked at it and it was super exciting. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a hard time convincing Kaust with this, but let's just do it. And then I went ahead, I wrote a petition with my scholarship KGSB and explaining all the reasons that I wanted to do astrophysics and why I like it and why I'm passionate about it. And then they actually accepted that, and I ended up being an astrophysics major. And then later in my sophomore year, I changed and I decided that I wanted more of an engineering track. That's why I ended up doing aerospace engineering, but I kept my astrophysics as a minor. So
That's really amazing. And it's really wonderful that you were allowed to, pursue astrophysics because, I'm personally passionate about astrophysics. And it's a really interesting field. The
it is.
majority of the majority of our members, myself included, are aiming to study in a space-related field once we attend university. And KGSP, is a really wonderful program that provides you a scholarship to study abroad. So what was the process like for you applying for KGSP?
For KGSP, first of all, I was not a Mohiba student, so I had to apply independently. That was around 2016, I think 2017, when I got the scholarship. The process started early in the year where I started emailing them and asking them when are the application cycles going to open and stuff like that. I understand that it's a lot clearer for you guys right now, but back in the days when I was applying, it was super vague and they didn't have a lot of information out there. So I just had to email people about it. But just on a side note, if any of you guys are interested in joining KGSP, please let me know by the end of this. We have Masira, it's a non-profit organization led by students, and we have a lot of relations with KGSP in general because all of us are KGSP students, and we can guide you through the application. So please let me know if you want to do that. But yeah, I emailed them. I got in contact with them, and then I realized that they wanted a lot of, they just wanted like English proficiency exams. They wanted you to have really good grades in your standardized tests. So I just started working for that. I emailed them early in that year telling them that I'm going to take my IELTS soon. I didn't take it at that point, but I told them that so they can please keep me in the cycle knowing that I'm going to do an English exam soon. And that was it actually. And then in April, I think I got an email telling me I am invited to apply, and then I got to apply, and then I got invited to the interview portion of it, and then I went to KAUST in Thawal, and I did my interview, and then yeah, I'm here. It's been 4 years.
So a student is asking what is KGSP, and I already have a background about it, but could you give a brief about the program because
Oh,
you're more qualified?
yeah, of course. So KGSP is actually KAUST Gifted Student Program. It's a program that sends gifted Saudi students to the United States to do their bachelor degrees and the aim for them to come back to KAUST to do their master studies, or you can even do your PhD there. It's a very, very, very good program. They give you a lot of guidance. They offer you a lot of mentorship opportunities. They give you all the opportunities in the world to explore during your summer, since the summer enrichment is mandatory. So each summer we have to do something, which is really good. Enriches your CV, enriches your resume and your experiences. So the way you go to KJSP is that first, if you did not apply to a university, a US university while you're in high school, they're gonna take you for a foundation year. And personally, I loved foundation year. Foundation year was my entrance to the US. It was a time where I got to realize how the world work here in the US, and I got to get more culturally adjusted to the place. And I also got to know what I like when it comes to academia or not. So it gave me it's a gap year in reality, but not really a gap year because you're gonna work a lot and you're gonna take all the SAT tests. You're gonna take a lot of TOEFL tests unless until you get to the desired score. So yeah, it prepares you well, and I appreciate it. I just had a question here. Oh, I attend George Washington University at Washington, D.C. If actually also, if I did not really answer the question for KJSP well, again, please tell me in the end of this because I'm gonna give you more information also about Masira so you can get more guidance into it.
That's really great. Thank you so much for your
Right.
assistance.
Thank you.
So you previously participated in the National Olympiad for Scientific Discovery as well as the National Olympiad for Mathematics with Mohiba. So do you feel these experiences helped you prepare academically for university?
So all of my experiences were actually in middle school, but I would say they definitely did prepare me. I would say maybe not from the scientific aspect because it was long before I applied to KGSP, but I think it was more from the mentality aspect, if that makes any sense. Being surrounded with people who are very driven scientifically and very excited about science and want to do all of these wonderful stuff and discover all of these stuff gets you in the mentality that you can do this, that you are capable of doing all of the great things that all of these people are doing. And it puts you in the mindset that you want to do this in the future, which helped me a lot because if you keep yourself in an environment where you don't have a lot of inspiring people to look after, or you are not in a very passionate driven environment, I believe that even if you're really passionate about something, your passion gonna fade out at some point. So it's really really great to create an environment for yourself. Like I believe this association is such an amazing thing. I can't believe I didn't know about it before because it creates this environment where all of you guys are passionate about one thing and you're driving each other about it, and you have all of these events where you get to hear about people's experiences and do all the lessons, and that's awesome. And I think that's like literally one of the best things that you can do for yourself is engage yourself in organizations and associations and just have a platform of like I don't know how to phrase that, but like having the support of people who are passionate about the same thing you're passionate about drives you into success. I believe in that at least.
What is it like for you to study, aerospace engineering and astrophysics at like a university level? Do you feel like that your high school classes and your, preparation year, your, gap year help prepare you for that?
So I am currently a junior in college, so I'm a year far from graduating. So high school has been a long time for me, a little bit, classes wise. But the thing is that aerospace engineering is basically mechanical engineering in the first 2 years at least. So if you prepare yourself well in physics, then you're gonna be totally fine because everything you're gonna learn after that is based on what you're gonna learn before that. Everything is a prereq for everything. So your freshman year, you're gonna take normal classes. You're just gonna take like general chemistry, physics one, physics two, and you're gonna take all your math classes, calculus, and all of that. And then after that, classes start building up on each other. So right now, I'm taking aerodynamics, and aerodynamics is basically a big portion of fluid mechanics, which is a class I took last semester. So I would definitely suggest that you keep track of all your classes and maintain all the knowledge because all of this knowledge is going to come after because you're going to use it because they're going to be like you took this last term, so that's why you're like advancing right now. So yeah, basically everything is built on each other. I wouldn't say that like my high school classes really relate to any of my classes currently, but my high school classes built on my freshman year classes, and then my freshman built on my sophomore, and then sophomore is building into my junior right now. And I think this is how it goes. You just get one level by one level, and everything builds on each other. So you'll be fine, I promise you. It's really, a lot of people say it's rocket science, but what, like rocket science it is. We can do it. It's fine.
Is asking, he's planning to pursue a major in aerospace engineering as well. And he's wondering what you're planning to specialize in, astronautical engineering or aeronautical engineering.
I'm definitely doing astronautical. Actually, we have two tracks. We have a space or aero, and I'm picking space, so I'm doing astronautical.
What's your advice for current high school students interested in these fields? Like, how can they prepare for a future in the space industry?
I would definitely say engage yourself in such associations. I did not know about like all of, I did not even have clubs in my high school. So engaging yourself in such places, organizations, and creating a network would help you a lot in the future. Also, just read about all the upcomings and all the things that excites you, and by time with time you're going to discover what you're actually passionate about, and then in college you'll find a lot of resources and places to actually put that passion in. So in my school at least, we have a rocket team where we basically design a rocket every year, and we send that we go to New Mexico in the summer, and they just send it there, and it competes with all other schools and their rockets and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And then we have, I forgot the name of the team, but I think it's called Fly and Drive or something like that. They also make rockets and airplanes. And if you're not into that, then they make cars and stuff. So just being engaged in such um, organizations helps you a lot, even forming relationships and having a friendship and a good support system. It's really nice, and you get to learn a lot, like beyond the aspect of your own classes.
What's your favorite aspect about astrophysics? What's
It's
your
very
favorite topic?
um I really don't know. It's pretty mysterious, but I think I'm really into exoplanets lately. I've been doing a lot of research in exoplanets, and whenever I get the chance, I just that's the direction I take when it comes to exoplanets. I'm also pretty interested in orbital debris. I don't know if any of you guys are know about orbital debris, but it's basically all the trash that we're sending to space, all the rockets that we send to space that never come back, and they just keep orbiting the Earth for like years and years and years, and it's pretty sad. So it's a problem that the world is facing right now, and I'm trying to read more about it and to learn more about it, and hopefully in the future solve a bit of it. So,
Inshallah.
what up?
What's your opinion on the future potential applications of machine learning in space?
Ooh, that's very exciting. So I think there's a lot. It hasn't been super integrated for now, at least, but I think a lot of people are trying to do that. They're trying to create different kind of communication within space with laser and all of these things. And if we're gonna do that, we're gonna need a lot of machine learning models to understand what's happening, and to we're gonna need a lot of machine learning models also to operate the satellites in order for it not to fail, or for anything to happen. The model itself can at least gives us what's happening as an issue or as an error. So it's very exciting. I haven't honestly got into any machine learning work that involves any aerospace, if that makes any sense. I've been just like doing my own learning process with machine learning as an outside of my school entirely. So yeah, I'm also curious to know what will happen with machine learning in space.
So Nawaf is asking, she's always wanted to enter a field, in physics in general, but she's seen, little job opportunities in this industry. So do you know anything about that and how fast it's growing?
Okay, so remember when I told you guys that I switched from astrophysics to engineering? That was one of the main aspects why I did that, to be totally honest with you guys. So the thing is, if you are into academia and you want to end up in academia as a researcher or as a professor or someone like that, then I think you wouldn't have to worry about that. Um, Physics is a wonderful, wonderful track that you can take to end up in academia. But if you wanted to end up in a more of an industrial, more in the industry in general, in like a technical industry, then I would suggest going more for engineering. Mechanical engineering is basically physics. Aerospace engineering is basically physics too. If anything, engineering itself is basically physics. But you just need to find what actually is your passion exactly. And then I promise you, with an engineering degree, you can go in different ways. You can go into consultant, which is, I didn't even know that I can go into consultancy before this year. And then you can do a lot of work, not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to end up as an engineer. You can end up as a manager or something like that. But just like the engineering mindset that you get out of studying engineering is very useful, because basically when you study engineering, you're just studying problem solving in different ways, and to get the mindset of solving problems helps you a lot in different aspects and different fields. So as an example, for someone who's doing aerospace engineering, you don't have to end up as an aerospace engineer. You can end up as a researcher. You can end up as a sales manager for a satellite company. I have my mentor for my SSPI, which is Satellite and Space Professionals International, I guess is well. He is actually working in the sales force for satellites, and it's pretty great. He comes and he tells me, he was an aerospace engineer, by the way, and he comes and he tells me about all that satellites they've been selling and everything. So you really don't have to end up on the technical side, but if you like the stuff, you can be in it. You can literally choose whatever you want to do.
Nawaf is also asking, what do you think about theoretical research specifically, and maybe job opportunities in that area?
Job opportunities. I really don't know. I am still a student and I'm still trying to figure it out. But theoretical research, I've been doing a lot of theoretical research in astrophysics. I've been doing it about gamma ray bursts. I've been doing it about exoplanets and all of these stuff, and it's pretty fun. And you'll have a lot of audience for it. I'm not into experimental physics, so I'm a big fan of theoretical research. If when you go to college, there's a lot of people who are gonna do theoretical research, and I would definitely suggest that you try to join in early on, just because no one expects you to be totally prepared or know whatever you're doing at first, because especially if you join as a freshman, everyone is going to be there like holding your hand, trying to like tell you what to do. You're going to do a lot of work when it comes to trying to understand what's happening and trying to basically work it out. But everyone is gonna be there to help you because they don't expect anything out of you. But if you join as like a senior or a junior, people would probably expect that you come with some knowledge and you might not get as much guidance. So I would definitely say join in early if you want to do such stuff, because as time progress, you're going to progress yourself and you might find even more project that you like and you care about more than the one that you initially joined. But at least the one you initially joined gave you that idea of how to proceed with that and how to deal with all of these data or whatever thing you're actually doing.
You have previous experience as a student researcher in UCLA. For high school students who are interested in maybe doing research or just getting into research in general, how do you think they can get started from now?
How can you get started from now about research? Okay, yeah, I have a really nice platform if you want to do space research. It's called Zoo Universe. I can send you guys the link. It's oh god, you guys, it's very cool. You get to know about all the like they show you all the pictures from Mars and all like Kepler 5 and Kepler 2 and all of these other telescopes that have been operating for a while and people didn't actually analyze the data for it, and they just like give you the opportunity and teach you how to analyze it and actually be a part of the community that are doing this people science kind of thing. So that's one platform that I think is really nice that can guide you in the right direction. Something else I would say, I honestly, my last interaction with research was again in middle school when I joined the Olympiad, Olympiad of DAC. And after that, even like the track that I took with my research wasn't really in space or physics or anything. It was clearly bio, which was now I think of it as very impressive because I don't think of myself as a bio person. But it also gave me the general idea of how the mindset is thinking and how would you go about it and why exactly this is important. And if I can tell you anything, having a passion for it and just knowing in your heart why this thing is exactly important is what's going to drive you throughout the hard times, because not being passionate about something would really not give the best results whenever you're trying. So yeah, if you want to go into research track, I would definitely suggest looking at such platforms that deliver and offer opportunities for people to do people science or citizen science, which is like a casual name for like people who aim to do more science work without actually being engaged in a university or being a faculty member or having this as an official job of them. They just do it as volunteers, which is pretty cool. And then if you have the opportunity to join Olympiad of Da, I would definitely suggest you to do so. You get a lot of mentorship there, you get a lot of help, and people are really eager to help you there because you're an excited high school student. Who wouldn't want to help an excited high school student?
Faisal is asking, what do you think about radio astronomy and its future?
Oh, radio astronomy is pretty cool. Um, I haven't been doing a lot of work when it comes to radio astronomy, so I don't know about the future exactly, but I can tell you every aspect of astronomy has a future because once we're gonna pollute this earth, we're gonna need somewhere else to go, you guys. So be excited. But no, in all seriousness, I think all aspects of astronomy are pretty cool, and I think all aspects of astronomy are aspects that you can learn and be extremely excited about. There's a lot of telescopes that are delivering good radio wave frequencies and everything like that. So if you wanted more information about telescopes and what they do, please let me know. I've been writing proposals for my astrophysics class, so I can give you some more telescope knowledge.
Hassan is asking, he's a senior in high school and who's about to start college, and he's wondering for astrophysics, should he go to a university in Toronto, and it's one of the number one, universities in Canada, or should he go to a university in the US that may not be as highly ranked?
Oh, that's a tough question. So I uh, I've never been to Canada. I don't know how the school system goes there or anything like that. But one thing I would suggest you to do when it comes to deciding between schools is actually go to their website, look at the major that you intend to do, and look at their classes and look at the whole degree plan. and whether you're going to be comfortable doing that degree plan or not, or you're okay with that or not. And then second thing, definitely look at the faculty in your own major and see whether they're conducting research in an area that you like or you don't, because that can be really restricting if all the faculty in your school, in your major, are doing research in an area that you really don't want to work in or you don't care about, and you'll be just left during the school year having basically no research opportunities to pursue that you're actually passionate about. So I would definitely suggest looking at the faculty, look at the degree plan, and then also look at the school size. For me personally, I really cared about the faculty student ratio, which is basically gives you how many faculty members there are available for one student. And the smaller the number is, the better, because that means that you're going to get more of individualized attention rather than going to a big school, which I also respect. But just like my personal preference was to go in a smaller school where I have less number of students, where professors can get to know me and remember my name with time. But yeah, that's again definitely a personal preference. But just look at all of these aspects, whether you like this or that, and then decide based on that. But I really cannot give you an answer.
Fahad is asking, he's torn between aeronautical engineering and astronautical, and he's interested in both fields. And because it is really hard for him to pick, one or the other, is it possible to pursue both?
Yeah, if you're actually doing aerospace engineering, then the majority of the schools are just gonna give you aerospace engineering, which is basically gonna be um, a bit of this and a bit of this and a lot of mechanical engineering. I think when you go further into your graduate schools, that's when you're gonna probably need to decide between those two tracks. But in general, those like both of these two come into concentrations. If anything, you can have the major as aerospace, or you can have your major as mechanical engineering, and then your concentration is this or that. And I can assure you that you'll get all the knowledge you need for pursuing both of them if you pick any of them. But it depends into what actually you are more liking to do. If you like airplanes, and if you like all the work that we do under our own atmosphere here on the Earth, then I would definitely say go to Aero. If you are more into rockets and spacecrafts and satellites, then I would definitely think go to Astro. But again, it really depends. Look at all the classes. A really good introduction to both of these two fields, I would say, would be orbital mechanics for astronautical engineering, and then I would say aerodynamics for aero. And this can give you at least a glimpse of what you're going to be learning. For orbital mechanics, you're going to be learning a lot about how like satellites orbit Earth or all other planetaries, um, and how escape velocity, what do we need to send all these rockets outside, and all of that aspects of them. And then when aerodynamics, you learn about the wings of the airplane, you learn about how the wings function, the structure of it, the lift and drag, and all of these things. So just put it in your mind and think about which aspect do you like more. But I guarantee you, you can never go wrong with that, because either ways, you're gonna get that fundamental essential knowledge to pursue either of them. So you'll be totally good. Do not worry about it.
So when it comes to coding, I know you have experience with MATLAB and Python, and you used to be like a programming instructor. For like students that don't have a background in coding in like high school and they're about to go to college, um, and they especially in theoretical research, coding is really important. How should they get started in this field? Should they wait till university to start learning how to code, or should they start from now?
Okay, I'll tell you something. I think one of my biggest regrets is that I did not learn how to program when I was in high school. I think programming is something wonderful if you're gonna do it early on, because you're gonna expand in so many ways that you didn't even think that you're gonna reach. So I learned how to program in my foundation year because it was like a mandatory class. It was C++. And I was really fascinated. I was super excited about it. But if you want to do it from now, there's a lot of platforms that can actually help you through it. And I would also say YouTube tutorials are pretty nice. They do deliver the information. So I would say if you want to learn any programming languages right now, I would say start with Python. It's quite literally the easiest programming language that I've encountered. And it's quite literally like talking English, but in different syntax. Um, you can watch Khan Academy videos. They help a lot. You can watch tutorials on YouTube, and then if you get into GitHub, then if you get into the mindset of how to use GitHub and all of the things in there, then I would say you are good to go. So yeah, I would definitely say just exploring the internet, because I guarantee you, I think programming is one of the easiest thing to learn by yourself. I'm not saying that programming is easy. I'm saying that programming is one of those fields that I believe that you can learn entirely on your own with the help of all the technology that thankfully we have right now.
Khalid is asking, what type of programming language do you frequently use currently in your studies?
I mostly use MATLAB, and I recently have been using a lot of Python just because my school decided to take more of a Python track. Um, for data analysis classes and yeah, for mostly data analysis classes, I use RStudio, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with, but it's more of a statistical programming language that does a lot of regression and all of that data analysis methods. So yeah, I would definitely say that Python is the mostly globally used, and it's emerging really fast. And if you want to learn something that is really reliable and fast and has a lot of libraries and all kind of fields, then I would say Python, especially for people who are trying to get into space physics or like astro in general in any field. Then Python is a really, really, really good programming language. I've used it in all my astrophysics classes, so that tells you something.
So a student is asking, how do you personally manage your time? In college, how do you keep the work-life balance?
Oh yeah. I wish you asked me this before COVID because my life was so much better. Honestly, with all honesty, I think the biggest thing that kept me sane with all of the work is being engaged in organizations and my sorority. I'm also a part of a sorority, which helps a lot because all of these people are pursuing similar majors, pursuing such work. So we get to actually gather together, do our work together, and then go out for dinners. When the weather is good, which is not right now. When the weather is good, we go for picnics by the river, and we just like to take those small outings to just clear up the air a little bit and feel better about our days. And I would say that especially before COVID, when school was not online and I was not sitting home all the time, it was so much easier to divide up my time because I know when it's time to work on my research, I know when it's time to work on my classes and all of these things. So usually I do my homeworks in between breaks with my classes. So if I have a lecture right now and then I have like a 2 hour break, I would start doing my homework in that 2 hour break just because one, I don't want to make delay it, and then two, I don't want to take it home with me. I would rather get rid of all my schoolwork when I'm at school. But to be totally honest, as a college student, you really cannot do that. You really cannot leave schoolwork to school because it never ends. Just to be totally honest, you're always gonna have to do a lot of work back at home, but you just need to learn how to not push it back, and then actually designate some time for it. And doing it in smaller parts really does help. And if you have a friend that would that is doing similar things with you or doing the same major, then collaborating in homeworks is usually allowed. It depends on the professor, but usually the majority of professors, at least my professors, are okay with collaborating with homeworks. And I think that's a really nice strategy because whatever knowledge you bring, the other person would give you similar knowledge and different aspects. So you would get to learn throughout the process of you doing that. So.
Thank you so much for the advice.
Of course.
So Sad is asking a KGSB related question. He's saying, is it fair to say that KGSB is more tilted towards privileged city groups as opposed to minorities and suburban areas?
I don't understand. Does that mean with their student selection? I'm sorry, I don't know if I got it right.
I'm not exactly sure. Sad, do you want to raise your hand and expand on your question? He meant in their student body. Like,
Oh,
do you
okay.
think lots of groups of people are represented?
There is a lot of people represented. No, you're totally good. You're totally good. So in reality, this question has been actually has raised up also in our last convocation, which is like an event that KGSP does every year to just gather all the students and everything. So the answer was the only reason that there is a lot of people from specific cities are because of the requirements to apply in general to the program itself. So it tends to be like bigger cities or urban cities have more students, which makes the probability of these students knowing about the program in the first place way bigger than in suburban or any other areas that don't have as much students in there and as much just students that can give their knowledge back to the place, which is something I really want to work on, which is get more people into knowing that KGSP actually exists and KGSP is a really good resource for you to pursue after this. So I believe my answer for your question is that not really. I just think that the majority of the students that apply are coming from urban cities, and the majority of students who have the qualifications to join KJSP are usually concentrated in urban cities because, as you know, a lot of students in urban cities have a lot of good English programs. They get to know more about um, the community when they are out, and they are just more how do I phrase that? I just think they are more exposed, if that makes any sense. And I think the only reason that not a lot of suburban area students are within the KGSP student body is just because of exposure. It's literally just because of exposure. I believe that if a lot of these students got to know what KGSP is, they would apply, and I believe a lot of them would be within the the KGSP cohort. So yeah, I think that's the essence of the problem.
Suba is asking another question, going back to programming. Do you guys use Ada programming language, or will you be taking it in the future in your studies? I've heard that they use it a lot in space technology.
I have never used that programming language or heard of it. I do not know why, but majority of my space research have been done throughout Python, just because we have a lot of good libraries for light curves and all of these things, a lot of astrophysicists are very comfortable with Python, so they develop a really good libraries for such applications. But I've never heard about it. Thank you for letting me know because I'm gonna Google it after this, and I'm gonna check it out. But I did not use it.
Nawaf is asking if the KAUST scholarships includes universities in the UK.
No, unfortunately, it's also it's only concentrated in the United States.
Sad is asking, what has been your experience as a woman in the STEM field?
I love this question. I'm a big advocate for women in STEM. I'm like, oh, okay. So, as my experience is, I would say that definitely we are a minority in engineering, especially. I go to all my classes being a girl. Like, we have like 10 girls with 70 other boys, which is like a really overwhelming number. So, I would say I'm really advocating for women in STEM. I am a mentor in the Women in Engineering Society. My sorority is, as you can know, sororities are all females. So my sorority is big in advocating STEM for women. And the whole essence of it is to bring more women into STEM. And that's something I'm really passionate about and I really want to do. But as of my experience, I haven't experienced anything negative other than the fact that there's an overwhelmingly number of males in my classes and not even proportion to the number of girls. But I would say when it comes to KGSP, there's a majority of boys, but I wouldn't say it's an overwhelming majority. It's like almost like 46, something like that. And my foundation year, yeah, my foundation year, that was overwhelmingly a lot. So there was like 10 boys and 5 girls, but it's really improving with time. Like with the time I came in, it was already improving than the previous years, as you can see. So I would say I'm excited about our future in STEM, and we'll keep advocating for us, and we'll keep telling girls to join STEM because it's a cool field.
Yeah, that's like definitely really important. Even in our association, we really want to encourage more women in astronomy and astrophysics because women are overwhelmingly underrepresented in these fields.
Yes, we are. Unfortunately, we are. But we're rising. We're coming there.
So we have two more questions. How do you think a student could improve him or herself in physics, astrophysics, or astronomy in general?
I would definitely say reading and watching shows. I know that this might be like super cliche, but I would say there is nothing ever has raising my curiosity and my excitement about space as much as just watching space documentaries and just like hearing the voices and watching all of these pictures, which are, in fact, they are not actual, like a lot of them are not actually true. They are like modified and everything, but just like hearing all of these voices and learning all about this and like just hearing someone talking about it makes you feel like you're like part of a huge thing, which like excites you when you're going through it. So I would definitely say read and watch documentaries about space in general, and especially if you want to do astrophysics or physics, not astronomy, then I would say work on your math skills because, with all honesty, astrophysics is the majority of the major is math because you are just doing a theoretical science aspect, and all you're gonna do is proving a lot and a lot of sometimes really familiar concepts, but you're going to prove it using your mathematical knowledge. So if you want to work on that, that would be really great. It would help you a lot in the future if you worked on your math skills, especially calculus, I would say.
Sad is also asking, what extracurricular activities or hobbies do you use to help manage stress?
Okay. So I'm a dancer. I dance with George Washington University ballroom team. We go to competitions and stuff like that.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's literally my place in the world.
Mhm.
We had a competition 2 years ago in MIT. We went on a competition to UPenn and Rutgers. So yeah, there's a lot of competition going on in ballroom dancing, and it's a really nice out of STEM community that I love and appreciate.
What's your opinion on on the future of the space sector in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, that's very exciting. Like, honestly, truly, you guys, 4 years ago when I joined KGSP and when I went to college, I truly did not expect myself to end up in space and like doing a space major without just knowing that I'm leaving Saudi for good. That's with all honesty. But right now, if you asked me, I'll be like, we are gonna thrive in Saudi. Like I'm super excited about all the work that Saudi is doing. Like in general, all the Middle East is emerging really is doing really good when it comes to the space industry, and it's very exciting. Um, I might be joining the Saudi Space Commission this summer, which will be exciting. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you if I will. So it's everything is super exciting. I think we are up to a huge just industrial excitement when it comes to space. I see a lot of passionate people like you guys who are excited about it, and I think if we are there, if you guys are there and we're all excited about it, why not? Why wouldn't be like in the top places when it comes to this? And also the country is doing a lot of good investments in the field, so I think it's very exciting and I'm super excited.
Yeah, definitely. And I really hope in the future, more job opportunities in this field, open up because there's definitely a lot of, young people that are very excited to go into the space sector.
I totally agree. Totally agree. It will happen. We'll see. Just give it a year.
Does anyone else have any questions? Lena's asking, is aerospace engineering difficult?
Um, I truly think that there isn't a single engineering major that is easy, but I would say if you just put your mind into it, you are gonna do it and you're gonna thrive at it. It just needs commitment as any other major in the whole universe. Just going to college itself is a different experience. So I wouldn't just say it's aerospace engineering, but I would say all the, just the college experience in general is not easy. You have to be an organized person. You have to put your mindset into it, and you'll thrive. I promise you. Anyone who tells you it's rocket science, tell them, what if it's rocket science? I'm completely capable of doing rocket science, so please do not worry about it. Once you like something, you're gonna work towards that. So
So I know you mentioned this in the beginning, but a student is asking, how did you discover your passion?
um
um,
I think I've been just throughout growing up, my dad always just provided me with a lot of magazines. I don't know if you guys grew up with that, but like Majid, Basim, and
mhm,
all of these magazines, and he usually also gave me a lot of National Geographic magazines. So all of these magazines, I think that the part that excites me the most about them was the spacey part. Whenever I see a galaxy or see anything about that, I'm like super excited, and just like you see my eyes like this. So I think that was like my first point of interaction and knowing that I like this. And then when I grew up, I started watching shows about it, documentaries, and just reading about it. And I was also into poetry, and a lot of poetry uses a lot of astro phrases and astro words and stuff like that. So that just put this poetic, beautiful image in my head. So yeah, I think everything formed that into making me the space nerd at this point.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come talk to us today. You're extremely inspirational, and hopefully we'll see you, go further in the space industry and really make your mark in this field.
Thank you so much. You guys are adorable. Thank you so much for like just having me here, for actually attending and being here. I actually just don't want to go before I ask if anyone wants any contact with Masira, and if they want to like if they're in like high school seniors and want to join KGSP and or just learn more about KGSP, just let me know. I can give you my number and you can text me about it. Yeah, I can give you my email and my number, and you can. I'm always there to text. So let me. So this is my cast email. And this is my personal number. Just note it's an American number, so like I put the +1 just in case you don't get to find me anywhere because that happens a lot. Wait, I saw a question. Thank you guys. I really love hearing all of this. Um, It is actually my first one. Thank you so much. I was super nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna bullshit my way through this. I don't know how to do it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Please feel free
Wonderful.
to text me and to email me and let me know of any concerns you have or any questions about KGSP or aerospace or anything within that. I can definitely let you know. Oh, I want to send you the zoo universe, the people science, if you don't mind. I feel like here, if you're into citizen science and you haven't been to college yet, this is a really nice option. You can go, you can open the link and you just go to the space projects and you'll see all the kind of space projects they're doing, and it's really inspiring. It's very cool.
And don't worry, I'll send the recording